It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. Time to become a syllable division lady.
Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Allison Parker. I am the syllable division queen, and it is my hope, it is my goal to reach 1,000 mothers in the next 12 months and help you become a syllable division queen because our children are struggling. And so, because our children are struggling, we need to know why they're struggling. So, what I did was I created a presentation to spell it out for you so you can be more empowered and have the data you need to know to help your child. Stick with me through the end of this video because I'm going to present to you 3 solutions that can help children who are third graders who happen to be students that struggle. There is help. If you have not already saw my other videos, why your kid in kindergarten is a struggling reader, why your kid in first grade or second grade is a struggling reader. These are the reasons why that I've mentioned in previous videos. I would say go back and watch those videos as well because we know, like math, reading is sequential. And so there are certain concepts that we teach kindergarten kids, certain concepts that we teach first grade children, and certain concepts that we teach second grade students. So what I'm going to recommend is you check those out because if you're in the third grade and you are a struggling reader, it means you have a lack of knowledge in K through 2 foundational reading skills. What does that mean? That means your child is struggling with auditory processing. That means that the kid has poor phonemic awareness. They have a lack of knowledge with sight words. They just don't know enough. In fact, by the end of second grade, we're expecting kids to know at least 200 to 250, 300 sight words. Some kids can, while others struggle in this capacity. If your kid is in third grade and they don't know their digraphs, 2 letters that make one sound, ch, f, w, sh, and consonant blends, cool, cr, str. If they don't know how to flexibly, easily, gracefully slide those letters together in their mouths at the beginning of words, or at the end of words, they will struggle to decode words in third grade. If your kid doesn't know the glued sounds, the rules of silent E, double vowels, advanced vowels, vowels with R as in AR and ER and IR and OR and UR, chances are if your kid just hasn't been taught these concepts, your child will struggle in the third grade because children have to know short vowels and they have to master them. They have to know about vowels that say their own name. We tend to call these long vowels, as well as the consonant LE, which is one of the 6 jobs of silent E. So more about this in the previous videos. Let's talk about why kids in third grade are struggling. Many school systems start officially assessing children in the third grade. Some kids are excited about taking a test because they're rock star readers, while others aren't. And the thought of reading literally makes them sick. And so, or maybe just health wise, they're sick. And so these are kids who have trouble attending regularly. Kids who struggle in reading are absent often. So I know about this variable here and the negative impact on student learning. So if your child has been absent 10 or more days in a school year, that is a lot of days of instruction lost unless you're supplementing and giving kids everything they need at home, which is what I want to encourage you to do. So one reason why kids are struggling, they're just not there. The next reason is, this is a big one, okay? When kids leave grade 2, kindergarten, first and second grade are considered the grades where kids learn to read. The instructional focus changes in the third grade. There's not this hyper focus on, it should be, because that's part of the reason why kids are failing, but there isn't a hyper focus on teaching phonics anymore. So there's an instructional focus mismatch. Okay, your kid still needs help with letters and sounds, and guess what? The primary focus in classrooms is primarily focused on reading comprehension. Main idea, sequence of events, making inferences, determining causes and effects, drawing conclusions. All of these higher level concepts are focused on whether the kid can comprehend the text, but kids won't be able to comprehend if they can't read the words. So there's this instructional mismatch where your kid needs the lower foundational skills and the teacher's primarily focused on the state test, the test. So if you're performing at a low level, still struggling through phonemic awareness and phonics, you're not a fluent reader, yeah, you're going to struggle in third grade. Please click the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share this video with your besties. Next up, oh, this is a big one as we close out the summer. It's called the summer slide. Some children have been in summer school learning, reading and writing and listening to vocabulary words that teachers are reading, while others have been staying up late playing video games all night. They're playing Roblox, they're playing whatever else is out there. And guess what they're not doing? They're not reading. They're not reading. So they have a dip in their learning, a dip in their fluency, a dip in accuracy because they forgot what they learned. And guess what? They enter third grade or they crawl through third grade struggling because they just didn't take advantage of the summer. The summertime is a great time to catch up and to get ahead. As I mentioned earlier, children are sick, okay? And I mean sick emotionally. They're not well because they're depressed or they have anxiety about reading. They need so much help because there's this heavy focus on standardized testing, and these children are very much aware of where they are. They know they're behind and they're worried about it. And some people think they're not trying hard enough or they're lazy, and kids get labeled these terms, and they're not lazy and they're not unmotivated. It's just that there's this instructional mismatch. They're not getting what they need, and so teachers focus on the many, not the few. And they're depressed and anxious about reading because they know more than likely they're going to fail the state test. Next up is trouble reading one syllable words, two syllable words, three syllable words, even words with four syllables. Look at this one down here. So kids may not know how to read these one syllable and two and three. And look at emancipation. Let's clap emancipation. Emancipation. This word is a 5-syllable word. And if kids haven't been taught how to divide words, guess what? They're disadvantaged readers. And that's not what we want. One key concept that I notice with my clients that come into my private practice, and I notice it in grades 1 through 11, that kids don't understand soft C. They have not been explicitly taught about soft C, that soft C says S. And so because they haven't been taught that C has two sounds, they don't know. So they attempt to read words and they just can't read these words. Subscribe, like this video, share the video so more moms are shown this video on YouTube. In addition, they don't know the rules for soft G. Like soft C, they don't know that G has two sounds. Do you know that G says J and soft C says S? Many people who read just intuitively have picked this up. No one explicitly taught them about soft C and soft G, but kids who struggle must receive explicit instruction. And if this is not in the curriculum, or if it wasn't in the K through 2 curriculum, your kid missed it, and now they are reading and they notice this G and they have no idea what this G says. And so they're lost. Number 9, again, I mentioned this in previous videos and I'm going to keep mentioning it because in books for kids as early as kindergarten and first grade, they have to deal with prefixes, these letters that are placed at the beginning of words that changes the word's meaning. And so we have to empower kids and teach them the prefixes and what they mean. Same for suffixes. Kids haven't been taught what a suffix is. They don't know that ED has 3 sounds. They have no idea that TION says shun. And these are just unfamiliar. And when they come upon these words, they can't read them because they haven't received the instruction that they need, or the instruction wasn't repeated enough in previous grades, or the teacher didn't get to it, or they forgot. Speaking of forgetting, students who tend to forget a wealth of information have a learning disability. Information comes in and then it goes out. It doesn't, these students struggle with keeping information in long-term memory because it's a language-based learning disability. It's a learning difference. And these kids will have lifelong challenges, particularly if they don't have the support, the tutoring, the coaching, and the guidance that they need. So I'm happy to assess your child remotely if you've been thinking, I wonder if my kid has dyslexia. Or if you've been wondering if you had a list of words, maybe just to check and see where your kid is, click the link below. Once you're done, check the description box and check out that freebie that I have created just for you. Subscribe, share this video with 5 friends, and like this video so more moms get this very, very important content. I just mentioned it because there's this comorbidity or this coexisting with concept where children with a learning disability tend to have trouble with focusing, with attention. And because they have trouble with focusing and attention, otherwise known as ADD or ADHD, they have poor working memory. Information goes in one ear and boom, right out the other. So they have trouble remembering. And if you have trouble remembering, how can you apply what you've learned? It's very difficult for these children. And we also notice that there are environmental factors at play. Children with little to no exposure with literacy at home. Maybe reading was not a priority at home. It's not a priority because parents think, oh, you're big now. You think the kid is big and the kid doesn't need to read with you, to read by you. And that's just not correct. Kids need to hear you reading and you need to hear them reading. So if reading is not a priority in the home, kids are going to struggle. So if they're not singing and playing Scrabble and other letter games, it's not a priority at home that they're reading aloud, they will definitely. These are the kids that struggle. If you guys don't read, you don't go borrow books, you don't buy books, you don't get books, you don't use books, you're not a household where literacy is prominent, these kids will struggle if reading is not a priority. Now, this one, I have it listed as reason number 14, but I'm going to be honest. I listed it here, but this one, trauma at home, we know that any trauma at home, K through 12, could put children at risk of becoming struggling readers because if there's so much going on at home, their little brains can't focus. And if their brains can't focus because they're worried, they're depressed, they're anxious, they're afraid, they will struggle because they're not focused on reading. They're focused on their basic needs, and every kid needs to come from a loving household where they feel safe. So if parents are arguing because one parent is experiencing emotional, physical, or financial abuse in the home, then mom can't be focused on helping the kid become that reading rock star. If the home has been in a fire, there's been a death of a parent or another family member, maybe there's disease or illness, maybe you've been displaced. Sometimes people get evicted, they're displaced. Or maybe I've even heard of a tree that's fell on the house and a parent is living in a hotel which is far from school and they're not attending school. Maybe disaster struck and there was a hurricane or roof leaks. There are so many things happening at home that reading is the last thing on some parents' minds. And because it's the last thing on their mind, because their basic needs aren't met, these are missed opportunities, and children are just not getting what they need. So they have this huge knowledge gap, this huge word gap. And so if you don't know a lot of words, you don't know a lot of sounds of words, you haven't learned about compound words and contractions and digraphs and consonant blends and how to decode multisyllabic words, yeah, you're going to have a reading disadvantage. And we don't want that for kids, but this is the case for some children and some families. And we know money is important. If a parent gets laid off or fired, they're not focused. You're not focused on your child's academics. So there are several variables, several interfering with children reading accurately and fluently in third grade. Behavior problems. Some children have behavior problems. And they have a lack of motivation. They have low self image and a low self esteem. They are highly disruptive in school. Some of them are in third grade and they struggled in K1 and 2. They're not getting the help that they need, so they don't see the value or pleasure in reading. And so they become behavior problems in school. Some of them refuse to do the classwork, they refuse to do the homework, or some kids sadly are bullied in school, or these kids are the bullies in school. Parenting impacts the reading achievement gap in children's reading performances. If there are no rules, no regulations, no responsibilities at home, children have no respect for the mom in that environment. They have no respect for the home. They just don't listen. They're disrespectful. These are children who have some chronic socio emotional issues and they need help. So they're not focused on books and reading. Knowing all this information that I've presented, you have two choices. Choice number one is the wait and see method. I'll wait to see what happens in this new school that I put my child in. I'll wait and see what happens when I put my child in the charter school, the independent private school, when you put your kid in a new public school. The wait and see method does not work. Most children whose parents are utilizing the wait and see method are at the same spot they were in last year at the end of a school year, because um, these are great places where children can learn, but nothing beats the love, the attention, and the guidance from mom. So what I would recommend is that you take massive action, starting with creating the habit of reading to your child, with your child, and by your child on a daily basis, and not missing a day. Not missing a day. And then flip it. You listen to your child read. What do you notice when your child reads? Are they stuck on silent E words? Is it digraphs that is stumping them? Maybe it's the consonant blends. Maybe it's those long words we talked about called compound words. You need to find out where your kid is struggling, and that's why I can help. Click the link below. I'm offering you a couple of resources. One is to join my community of syllable division queens, where I can coach you with other girlies, other mothers, to help you become powerfully literate so that you can coach your own child right at home. The other resource I've created for you is, not only do I have a community for you to join for group coaching, I also have a course that I've created, as well as phonics workbooks. Children need to practice to get good. If you ask LeBron James how often he practices, I'm pretty sure he will tell you every single day. So why are we skipping days and not allowing children to read to us? Why are we not reading to children? We've got to build this habit at home and help children fall in love with literacy. Click the link below for those resources that I told you about. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I don't even know what you're waiting for. Click the notification bell so you know when I upload my newest videos, and please subscribe and like this video. Until next time, ciao for now.
Powerfully literate and join forces now. Partner with me and I'll teach you how. It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. Time to become a syllable division lady.